Sunday mornings across America are quieter than ever, a profound shift echoing through our communities. Churches that once served as vibrant hubs, brimming with families and civic life, now stand half empty, their silence a stark testament to a changing nation. Even the storied Bible Belt, long considered the bedrock of American faith, reveals significant cracks in its foundation. This isn't merely a spiritual phenomenon, it's a critical societal transformation demanding the attention of religious leaders, sociologists, and historians alike. The younger generations, particularly Millennials and Gen Z, are disengaging from organized religion in unprecedented numbers. A confluence of factors, from institutional scandals and political polarization to evolving cultural values, is fueling a silent exodus. This isn't just about declining attendance, it's about the erosion of a foundational pillar of American community life. The spiritual backbone of America is undergoing a profound reevaluation, and its implications for our collective future are immense. Around their local churches, which served as vital hubs for civic engagement and mutual aid, the expansive Bible Belt, stretching across the southern states, emerged as a powerful cultural and religious stronghold, shaping regional identity and national discourse. Influential evangelical figures, such as Billy Graham, captivated vast audiences, demonstrating the Church's profound capacity to mold not only individual faith, but also political landscapes and cultural values. Churches were the indispensable glue binding American communities together through shared purpose and collective action. Historically, churches were instrumental in establishing schools, hospitals, and charitable organizations long before government agencies assumed these roles. They fostered social capital, building networks of trust and reciprocity essential for community resilience. This deep integration meant that the church's health was inextricably linked to the health of the community itself. Understanding this historical symbiosis is crucial for appreciating the broader societal impact of their current decline. Fast forward to the present, and the landscape of American religious adherence presents a dramatically different picture. Contemporary data reveals a sharp and accelerating decline in regular church attendance, with only about 47% of Americans now participating regularly. This represents a significant drop from just a few decades ago, signaling a profound shift in national habits and priorities. The trend is particularly pronounced among younger demographics, offering a critical lens for sociologists. Among millennials and Gen Z, nearly 40% now identify as nones, a category encompassing those who claim no religious affiliation, whether atheist, agnostic, or simply spiritual but not religious. This demographic shift is not merely a statistical anomaly, it represents a fundamental reorientation of how younger generations engage with spirituality and community. Even traditionally devout regions, such as the Bible Belt, are experiencing unexpected and significant drops in church membership, challenging long-held assumptions about religious stability. The consequences of this decline are tangible and widespread. Churches are closing their doors at an alarming rate, leading to the loss of historic buildings and community spaces. Pastors, facing dwindling congregations and increasing disillusionment, are leaving the ministry in greater numbers. These shrinking congregations reflect a broader societal trend, indicating a dramatic demographic shift away from institutional religion. This data compels us to consider the long-term implications for social cohesion and civic infrastructure. The reasons behind this widespread disengagement are complex, reflecting deep-seated societal changes and institutional challenges. Understanding these factors is paramount for religious leaders seeking renewal and for sociologists analyzing cultural evolution. A significant contributor to the emptying of pews is the pervasive issue of institutional scandals, which have severely eroded public trust. From widely publicized financial mismanagement to horrific sexual abuse cases, the integrity of religious leadership has been called into question. These revelations have left many congregants feeling betrayed and disillusioned, prompting a profound crisis of faith in the institutions themselves. The moral authority once held by religious organizations has been significantly diminished. The impact of these scandals extends beyond individual congregations, casting a long shadow over the entire religious landscape. People are increasingly asking whether churches are truly living up to the ethical standards they preach. This erosion of trust is a critical sociological phenomenon, as trust is the bedrock of any functioning institution and community. Rebuilding this trust requires profound introspection, accountability, and transparent reform from within religious organizations. The increasing entanglement of faith with partisan politics has proven to be another divisive force, alienating a substantial portion of the population. Churches, particularly in America, have often taken strong public stances on highly contentious issues such as abortion rights, LGBTQ+ equality, and electoral politics. While this engagement may energize some segments of the congregation, it simultaneously alienates others who feel their spiritual home has become a political battleground. The pulpit, once a source of universal spiritual guidance, is now often perceived as a platform for partisan advocacy. This politicization has led many to feel that the church is more concerned with political power and cultural wars than with spiritual growth or community service. The blending of religious identity with political ideology has created an environment where differing political views can fracture congregations and drive members away. For community planning, this means that institutions once capable of uniting diverse groups are now contributing to societal polarization, hindering collective action and shared purpose. The younger generations, Millennials and Gen Z, approach spirituality and community with a distinct set of values. They prioritize authenticity, personal experience, and social justice, often viewing traditional organized religion as outdated, rigid, or even hypocritical. Many are not rejecting spirituality itself, but rather the institutional structures that have historically housed it. They seek meaning and connection on their own terms, often outside conventional religious frameworks. This generational shift is characterized by a preference for personal spiritual exploration over dogmatic adherence. Digital communities, mindfulness practices, and individualized belief systems are increasingly replacing weekly church attendance. Young people are drawn to causes and communities that demonstrate tangible impact and genuine inclusivity, rather than those perceived as judgmental or exclusive. Religious leaders must understand these evolving values to effectively engage with future generations and ensure their institutions remain relevant. Modern life presents an unprecedented array of choices and demands, creating intense competition for people's time and attention. Sunday mornings, once reserved almost exclusively for church, are now filled with a multitude of alternative activities: children's sports leagues, family brunches, shopping excursions, and the endless allure of digital entertainment, from streaming services to social media, all vie for precious weekend hours. The pace of contemporary American culture leaves little room for traditional commitments. Churches now find themselves in a constant battle for attention within a fast paced, consumer driven society. The expectation of a dedicated weekly commitment to a single institution feels increasingly out of step with modern lifestyles. This cultural shift necessitates a reevaluation of how religious institutions engage with their communities, moving beyond traditional models to offer flexible, relevant, and compelling alternatives that resonate with contemporary priorities. The decline of religious institutions is far more than a spiritual concern. It carries profound and tangible consequences for the fabric of American society. For community planners, sociologists, and civic leaders, this trend signals a significant erosion of social capital and civic infrastructure. Churches have historically been primary providers of charity, education, and social support, forming a crucial safety net for vulnerable populations. Empty pews directly translate into fewer volunteers for local initiatives, reduced financial contributions to community programs, and a weakening of the informal support networks that bind neighborhoods together. The loss of these institutions diminishes the collective capacity for problem solving and mutual aid, leaving gaps in social services that are difficult to fill. This decline impacts everything from food banks and homeless shelters to after-school programs and senior care. Furthermore, The diminishing moral influence of religious institutions can lead to a fragmentation of shared values and ethical frameworks within society. Politically, the reduction in religious voting blocs alters electoral dynamics and policy debates, shifting the landscape of public discourse. As traditional community anchors weaken, the challenge for community planning becomes how to rebuild social cohesion and civic engagement in a post-religious landscape. This requires innovative approaches to foster belonging and collective action, ensuring that vital community functions continue to be met. Despite the significant challenges, not all religious institutions are in decline. Many are actively adapting and innovating to remain relevant in a changing world. These examples offer valuable insights for religious leaders and community planners seeking pathways to renewal. Many churches are embracing digital technologies, offering streaming services and online communities that extend their reach beyond physical walls. This allows for greater accessibility and engagement, particularly for those who cannot attend in person or who prefer digital interaction. Small group Bible studies and community gatherings, often held in homes or coffee shops, are fostering deeper, more intimate connections than traditional large-scale services. These smaller, more flexible formats resonate with the generational desire for authenticity and personal connection. A renewed focus on local charity and social outreach is also proving effective. Churches that actively engage in addressing community needs, such as operating food banks, providing affordable housing, or advocating for social justice, are demonstrating their continued relevance and impact. By prioritizing tangible service, they are rebuilding trust and demonstrating their commitment to the well-being of their neighbors. These adaptive strategies, which include modern worship approaches, and a willingness to embrace change while maintaining core faith principles, offer a blueprint for survival and even growth. The critical question remains: can America's churches collectively adapt to this profound cultural shift, or is this a permanent redefinition of the nation's spiritual and communal landscape? The emptying of America's churches is more than a religious trend. It is a profound societal transformation that demands urgent attention from religious leaders, sociologists, historians, and community planners. Faith in the U.S. stands at a critical crossroads, and the decisions made today will irrevocably shape the spiritual, social, and civic landscape for generations to come. This is not merely about preserving institutions, but about understanding and addressing the fundamental shifts in how Americans find meaning, build community, and engage in collective action. For religious leaders, this is a call to courageous introspection, innovative adaptation, and a renewed focus on authentic service and community engagement. For sociologists, it presents a rich field for understanding the evolution of social capital, institutional trust, and cultural identity. For historians, it offers a unique moment to contextualize current trends within the broader narrative of American religious and social change. And for community planners, it is an imperative to strategically address the void left by declining religious institutions, ensuring that vital social functions and community cohesion are maintained and strengthened through new, inclusive models. This is the Scholar's Ledger, where history, faith, and power are revealed, and where critical societal shifts are explored with depth and insight. We invite you to engage with these complex issues. Subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking analyses, share this video with your colleagues and communities, and join the vital search for truth and solutions in this era of profound change. Let us collectively plan for a future where community thrives, regardless of its institutional forms.